In this lesson, we'll look at a simple way to separate functionality out from classes that violate the single responsibility principle. That is, classes that do too much. Keeping things simple is one of the main goals of refactoring. Let's look again at the customer class. In the last lesson, we separated out the pieces of functionality into different methods, which was an improvement. However, we still have to test all three together, and there is no scope for using different implementations, say if the tariff or loyalty plans change. What we can do is separate the functionality into three classes. One will calculate the prices, another the loyalty points, and a third will generate the statement text. Let's start with the pricing. We want to introduce a new class tariff. So let's just type new tariff and assign a variable with Ctrl-Alt-V. Notice that this works, even though there isn't a class called tariff yet. Now let's create it with Alt-Enter, choosing Create Inner Class. Creating an inner class keeps all the code in this file, and means we're not jumping backwards and forwards between different files all the time. It also highlights the fact that this refactoring is private to this class. None of the rest of the codebase is aware of the refactoring. Now we want to move the calculatePrice method onto the new class. The first step is to introduce a dependency on tariff onto the method. We can just add tariff to the parameter list. Move to the method call, type T. IntelliJ will prompt with the variable name, and press Enter to insert the suggestion. Remember from before that tab would have overwritten. Then type comma. This is a compilation error, but IntelliJ suggests a fix, to add tariff as the first parameter to the method. Alt-Enter to accept. Now, if we navigate to the method implementation with Ctrl-B, we can see that the tariff parameter isn't used just yet. This is okay for now. Let's navigate back to the caller with Ctrl-B again. Ctrl-B on a method declaration searches for and navigates to all usages of the method. Here, there's only one usage, so it jumps straight there. Now we want to move the method onto the tariff class. So use F6 to move, then pick tariff as the destination class. You can see that tariff now has a method calculatePrice, and that the caller calls it as tariff.calculatePrice. Let's do the same for the loyalty plan. New loyalty plan, extract variable, create inner class, add parameter, modify method, move method, done. Now, let's move the tariff variable to be a field of the class by using Ctrl-Alt-F, ensuring that initializeIn is set to be field declaration. Use Alt-I to cycle through the various alternatives if not, and repeat for the loyalty plan. Now we can rearrange the fields in the class just as we want to, with Ctrl-Alt up and down. I usually make sure that fields assigned in the constructor come last. Let's check the tests again. Shift F10. Good, they still pass. Notice that the external interface of this class still hasn't changed. In fact, there are no changes at all outside this file. Let's prove this by checking in the version control window with Alt-9. OK, only one file modified and no new files. We can close that window again with Alt-9. Given that tariff and loyalty plan are totally independent pieces of functionality, let's split them into top-level classes. Use Ctrl F12 to navigate to the declaration of the tariff class. It's both private and non-static, which doesn't really work well for a top-level class. Let's make it public without enter, make public, and static without rt. Also make the method public, again without enter, make public. We can delete the public noarg constructor that IDEA added. Now we need to modify the loyalty plan class in the same way. Make public, make static, and the method public too, remove the constructor. Now to make these top-level classes. Navigate to the tariff class declaration with Ctrl F12 and move with F6. Select Move inner class to upper level and enter. The defaults for this dialog are OK, so enter again and again to add the new Java file to Git, if version control is enabled. Now Ctrl-Alt-Left to go back to where we just were in the customer class and do the same again. F6, enter, enter, enter. Back again to the customer class. This class almost fits on one screen now. If we navigate to the getName method, which is really only a private field accessor, we can inline it with Ctrl-Alt-N. It's gone, and our class now does fit on a single screen. Next we'll see how to extract the last class out of this one, generating the text statement.